I want to thank you all for being here and say happy New Year. Gosh almighty, yes. And I can't tell you, since I was a little girl, the number 3 has resonated with me. It just did since I was tiny. And so this year I'm 63 in 222, which is a 6. So I feel like 2022 is about to be something really extraordinary. And not just for me. I feel it in my bones. It's for everybody. It's going to be really extraordinary for everybody. And especially those in the choir who I feel like when I come to my spiritual centers, I'm speaking to the choir. Most of you know this material. Yes, we're humans and we forget. And that's why we keep coming together and gathering in community to keep reminding one another of the truth. Oh, and I want to say hi to anyone at home on Zoom. Thank you for being here. I know I forget about those folks at home and I don't mean to. Okay, so my topic today is we are the light, capital THE, the light. It's time to shine it bright, guys. This is it. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it anymore. Energy is moving too quickly. You have got to have felt this. You're manifesting faster and with more effective in efficiency than ever before. And that's not by accident. The cosmos is playing a huge part in this. The energies of the stars and the planets have all been, I just know, and I know you know too, that God, Spirit, Source, it's got a plan. It's always had a plan, and there will always be a plan. And the plan is to have free will beings like us on the planet to create new. And this is a new year. And so it's about where you're going to focus to create this newness that is in you. It's in all of us. We know what the new earth is supposed to be like. We came here purposely at this time because we knew we were going to be on the brink of helping humanity become a global family, which is what Spirit always intended. There wasn't any segment of its creation that it ever intended to not be loved by another segment. Because that light that created every creation on the planet and the planet itself, as well as the trillions of other galaxies that they just continue to discover, that light was extended and placed into the heart of every one of us. That light is who we are. It is our essence. It is our truth. And it cannot be denied any longer. And it is the light that cannot be extinguished. It cannot. Because light will always, must always overcome the darkness. Why? The darkness is not based in truth. There's no truth in that which cannot be continued. That which goes on and on eternally, that's the truth. And it is based in love and light, period. Period. I would like to read a treatment. In Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes taught treatment rather than prayer, because this man, I find him brilliant and so ahead of his time. Here he was in the 20s, the 1920s, trying to convey to people the oneness of everything. He was truly a pioneer. and he had vision, and he knew in his heart of hearts, he was ahead of his time, but he was insistent and never gave up his quest to shine this light and be this light and be that, so others who are remembering or awakening could see it. This was written back in 2019, but it just suits my talk so well that I'm bringing it to you. In the beginning, there was nothing but givingness, an abundance of constant transference from divine bounty, for it is the nature of spirit to give. All powerful and all present, this is the essence of life, as well as the intelligence back of everything. It is complete and perfect within itself. Without a doubt, spirit as me knows the intention of this same greatness. I hold within my thoughts today the sacred intention of recognition, information, contact, beingness, and presence with my divine. I leave behind the limits and constrictions that shadow my reunification with what I wish to be, and move into a new avenue of self with a capital S. I align today with the freedom of these new devotions. I know they lead me to my own highest and best expression, a passageway that absolutely knows how to receive the light of God, the light of peace, the light of love. The truth in and back of these words are free from limitation of world thinking. They are reality of infinite potential, and I gratefully ground them in the law of mind that knows how to grow them in positive ways. I let this intention be broadcast to all life, and so it is. We are that light, gang. Ernest starts this book, by the way, has become one of my favorites. It's a daily reading that Ernest wrote, and he builds on each month. January, which I find so exciting. His theme in January is beginnings, of course, but his theme in December was the light. We are the light that is starting this newness on the planet Earth. We have brought ourselves here at this time to do just that. Abraham, channeled by Esther Hicks, has some really powerful things to say about our new year. And one of the things that I heard most recently, we are vibrational beings first and foremost. They teach this as the basis of their teaching. We vibrate, therefore we emit a frequency. Dr. Holmes called it law of mind. Abraham calls it law of attraction. It's the same law. It's the most powerful law in the universe, more powerful than any other. And yet it is not as well known or accepted. But let me ask you, how long did it take us to truly accept the law of gravity? Think about that just by itself, right? We are not quick as humans to make these choices, even though so much evidence can pile up. But we're tipping the scale, guys. We're getting there. More and more people are beginning to realize They have this capacity to draw like unto themselves by where they focus. And this cannot be thwarted. You cannot buck this current. Acceptance of law is paramount for deliberate creators, which I consider all of us to be. We didn't come here willy-nilly. We came here with intention and purpose, and we knew there would come a time that we would have to stand in our center, in our hearts, and in love, and know this in the face of utter confusion and chaos and mess. But as Mike and I were discussing before we started today, out of confusion comes new, exciting, fabulous creation. And so it's up to us to keep our focus. And that is our most valued, in my opinion, my most valued commodity is my capacity to focus. Because where I put my attention creates my point of attraction. And my point of attraction is only mine to create. None of you can do it for me. I'd love to give it to others sometimes. I'd love someone else to do it for me sometimes. We've all felt that way. But the truth is, you attract out of everyone what you're projecting out, what you're emitting as a vibration, you are drawing from them. So we can no longer take that silly role that so many of us stood in for years before we woke up, where we pointed out there and blamed everybody. We blamed it all, the government, this, that, Corona. Well, there's three fingers pointing right back at you. And that's what we have to remember. There's nothing that comes to you willy-nilly by accident. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as an accident. I'm telling you, there's not. If it's coming to you, it's because it's vibrating within you. It may be very deep in your subconscious and you're not aware, but it is there. Or you would not be attracting it to you. It can be no other way. It's the way God designed the universe. And we're just starting to wake up to the rules and how to really play, And it's about play. That's where I want to take you guys today, quickly. We're taking this all too seriously. Coronavirus, the whole thing, it's all gotten so out of hand. And our media wants us to be in fear. Why? Fear sells. No big mystery. So what? Fear sells. It's not our gig. We don't do fear. We don't. We know fear is something we need to be aware of, and that our instincts will alert us when we are in danger. But to live and be run by fear, oh, no, no, no. It is not why you came. The furthest thing from the truth. You came for the fun. You came for the joy. You came for the passion and the enthusiasm and the excitement of creating something new. So go for it. There's nothing stopping you except you, possibly you, your doubts, your, like that song said, I don't want to say what if. I don't want to say, yeah, but anymore. I don't want those words to come out of my mouth, because I know on a very deep level that if I have imagined it, the power that creates universes is available to me and there to help me bring it to fruition. It's available to us all. Now, what stops our light from shining? We do. I'm sorry. I wish I could say it's them or her, or your husband or your wife or your cousin, your best friend. It's none of those things. It's you. It's me. And it's our job to own The programming and the conditioning that our blessed parents and those who have come before us gave us, in some ways imposed upon us out of love. For the most part, I truly believe they were functioning from love. They were afraid and they wanted to keep us safe. And so they gave us all the reasons to be afraid. And that's where our focus has landed. And big surprise, what do we keep creating? More fear, more confusion, more garbage out of that focus. Now, you know better. You know how to focus. And you can get better and better and better at it with practice. And that's all it takes is practice. As a personal trainer of 36 years, I can't believe I was talking to a trainer the other day who called me for advice. Some young buck, sounded like he was maybe in his 30s. And I thought, gosh, what wisdom can I impart to this young guy? The truth is, we have always known repetition is what teaches this brain. It's what teaches this body too. As a trainer, I've had to take my clients through many, many, many repetitive workouts. Now, I'm a big believer in variety because I get bored otherwise too. So I mix things up all the time, which if you're into exercise, I highly recommend because your body is brilliant and it will plateau in no time at all because it's going to figure out the most efficient, effective way to do that. Then you've got to change it or you're now plateaued. Same is true with this, guys. Those grooves in your brain get deeper and deeper and deeper with your focus. So if you're choosing to focus on things that bring you anxiety, fear, worry, doubt, those grooves are getting really deep. And what happens when that happens? Your thoughts go there so easy. They just go, go, go. They just go into those grooves. Just go, go, go. And that's what makes it so hard to shake those thoughts, to get on a new focus. But as I said, practice, 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 practice. You keep saying, oh, no. First of all, never beat yourself up ever, ever, ever for finding yourself dwelling on something you'd rather not. Just go, oh, well, darn it, there I go again. And be gentle and kind of playful with yourself about it. And just say, well, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm bringing my focus over here. And I'm going to stay focused on this love and this. Pet your cat, hug on your dog, admire your plants, play with things that make your heart feel light and full of happiness. It's not going to mean you have to do this 100% every day because you are a human and you signed up for that. And being human, you have the whole gamut of emotions available to you. But always know this, your emotions are your greatest tool gift from God. They are your guidance. Our eyes, our ears, our voices, our sense of touch and smell and taste, all those senses are lovely, but they don't compare to your ability to feel. And if you were among those poor souls whose parents told you to stop it, to stop feeling, to shove those things down, to not cry, to not do this, to not do that, bless them, they know not from what they were doing. And go back to allowing yourself to feel everything in its fullness, because that's what you were designed to do. And it is your guidance. You see, when you're starting to feel scared, that's God's way of saying, right now, you're looking at something in opposition to me. I don't look at it that way, or you would feel good about it. If you're looking at something and it feels good to you, I promise you're in alignment with source, God, spirit. You are right there with it. It only vibrates in love, joy, appreciation, passion, excitement, enthusiasm. It vibrates there constantly. Why? To be your beacon, to keep pulling you back to the truth of who you are and up out of those heavy, non-serving thoughts. You can stay in those places as long as you want, and nothing really bad's going to happen to you. You know you're held no matter what. But didn't we come to have fun? Didn't we come to have a good time? Didn't we come to enjoy life? And it's only us who seems to be putting that on hold, postponing it because of where we're choosing to focus. So it's very, very important to own your vibration, to own your frequency. Your frequency is your set point. It's where your point of attraction is coming from. And so all you have to do is do the very best you can to focus on things that make you smile. Is that such a hard thing? No, it's not. And yes, you'll go down the rabbit hole once in a while. We all do. But I promise the more you practice, you won't stay there long. You'll get out of those rabbit holes quicker and quicker, because you realize so quickly when you've stayed in joy more than you've stayed in fear, hatred, anger. You feel it so quickly when it starts to slip down that it's just piece of cake to come back to the light, come back to the love. Okay. So the keys for a happy new year, in my humble opinion: understand law. If you don't understand law, you're really functioning with half a toolbox at best. Law can only be your friend, but it can be your enemy if you're not aware of it and working in alignment with it. Law doesn't feel. Law is sort of the right hand of God. Your frequency is felt by spirit, but its engine is law. Makes sense? So, yeah, it's going to do exactly what you want it to do, as long as you're staying very clear and focused about what you want, what makes your heart smile, what's important to you. No one can tell you these things but you, truly. So law, or key number one: know law, understand law, work within it. You cannot fight it. Big one, number two. This is probably the biggie of all biggies: trust. Woohoo! Yeah. Not many of us, God bless those who were taught this by their parents, believe, truly believe in what is unseen. We as a society, we as a nation, we as a species, we consider that the real thing. That which we can feel, touch, taste, smell, hear, that's real. That's the hardest part. I think our brains don't like to wrap around the idea of there being something so incredible that we can't see. But here's the good news. You can feel it. You can feel it. That's why you have emotions. That's why you were given this guidance system, so that you could always know when you are harmony, you are in sync, when you are in alignment with the all that is. It never, ever wavers from love and light. Therefore, when you go back there, it will always feel divine. It's your guidance. You can feel. So use your feelings. Don't be afraid of them. Cultivate them. Get really familiar with them. Learn to understand their nuances. Because I'll tell you what, not a single emotion is bad. They're all great. They are our guidance from God. So do not condemn your negative emotions and be mad at yourself or angry with yourself for going there. That's just an opportunity for you to decide to look at something the way Source sees it, God sees it, that maybe you haven't tried that perspective on yet. You know, you have to remember God, Spirit, has the broadest perspective of all. And we humans, we tend to be like these little racehorses with our blinders to go down these paths, like narrow. Don't be afraid to fall off your path. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to have negative emotion. It's all perfect, and it's all guidance, and it's all helping you to understand who you are better. It's all there for you to reunite with the truth of who you are and love yourself like you've never loved yourself, maybe ever. It's the most important journey a human takes on this planet, I think. And the people I've worked with, and there have been hundreds, not a one didn't need to work on self-love. Not a one. And I've worked with hundreds of people. It's what we come to figure out in part. So do it. Stop negative self-talk of any kind. Shine the light on all of those shadows within you. Because once you do, they're like smoke. They just evaporate. Or they take on a new look that is appealing and rather attractive. Yeah, you're going to be surprised. There's not a thing about you that needs to change. You were born whole and perfect, right exactly the way you are. It's up to us now to take that love and light we came into this planet with and grow it and grow it and grow it. So that the moment you walk out of your door, the moment you put your feet on the floor in the morning, the birds sing, life goes, yo, she's up, yay, what fun are we going to do? What fun are we going to have? That's what you came for. And you can start. That's why I'm such an advocate that you do your meditation right a first thing right away. You might have to get up and go to the potty first, quick, do that, come back. But don't go any further into your day. Do not open your emails. Do not turn on your phone. Do not. Sit there and commune with your love and your light. Because I want you to know this, when you go to sleep, you stop all the momentum of your thoughts. All momentum stops when you sleep. Now you have the choice when those first few seconds of awareness start, I am coming to. Am I going to pick those thoughts right back up from yesterday and take off with them again? Please don't. Please, please don't. Instead, say to spirit, what new adventure shall we create today? What fun shall we have today? Let's think about that. And I have a lot of people say to me all the time, I can't quiet my mind. No, of course you can't. I'm telling you, that's our goal. That's what we shoot for. But there's approximately, it varies. I hear anything from 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day go through our minds. That's a boatload. That is a boatload of thoughts. And you will drive yourself crazy trying to manage them. But you won't drive yourself crazy paying attention to how you feel. And if you're feeling satisfied or above on the emotional guidance scale, which you can Google, by the way, Google emotional guidance scale, there's 22 that Abraham has listed. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have hundreds of other emotions and variances off of these emotions, but those are the basic 22 that they felt pretty sure every human feels, right? So we want to live in the upper half of the scale, and it's not at 11 that the cutoff is, by the way. You've got to look at it. It's between 7 and 8. 7 is satisfaction. 8 is boredom. Boredom is a good thing. Do you know why boredom is a good thing? Because there's no resistance in it. What stops our creating powers? Resistance. What is resistance? Any negative emotion. As soon as you start going down into the rabbit hole, the further you allow yourself to go, and you might go all the way to the bottom to despair and depression. Down there, you are powerless. And nothing will make you more agitated than the feeling of powerlessness, because you are God incarnate, and God is the furthest thing from powerless. And when you allow yourself to feel powerless, you can't stay there long. So where do you go? Up into anger, where there's more power. Sadly, an awful lot of people have taken up residency there. We don't want that. We never intended that. We intended to work our way up the emotional scale out of any topic. Feel those feelings? Yes, you must, or they'll get stuffed. But then go to the next one and feel it for a while and let it take you to the next one and the next one. And it'll work you right up that scale back into satisfaction and above, where God resides, where Source resides, where all you ever could want resides. So you are love and you are light. And that is the truth of who you are. And today at 10:30 this morning, we had a new moon in Capricorn. Happy birthday, Mike. Happy birthday, Bill. This is a prime 2-week period, gang. It couldn't be more prime with what other things are going on out in the cosmos. And there are a lot, big players, Saturn, Jupiter. These are very powerful 14 days ahead of us. I implore you to do everything in your power to stay focused on love and light over the next 14 days. You do that, not only will your life be in flow, be in joy, but you will be an influence to those who are seeking and remembering. And they're coming to all over the place. They're coming to all over. So You don't have to seek anybody out. They'll find you. It's like a moth to a flame. You go out into your world from joy and love in your heart with the intention of being an uplifter, with the intention of being love in your world. You will attract that out of every single person and situation you encounter. And the more practiced you get at it, the better you get, and the better you get, and the better it gets, and the better it gets. And life just is amazing. Don't watch the news. They don't want you to know what's the real truth is. Look at your own lives. Look at your own world, your personal world. That's where your biggest influence is. That's where you create most powerfully. And I don't doubt for a minute that the people in this room are. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be here. I want to close this with a couple of brief readings from Ernest right here on the topic of light. Where are you? Went the wrong way. There I am. Okay. Now, just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let Ernest's words sink into you. A new light is coming into the world. We are on the borderline of a new experience. The veil between spirit and matter is very thin. In moments of deepest realization, the great mystics have sensed that the one life flows through all, and that all are some part of that life. They have also seen substance, a form, white, brilliant stuff, forever falling into everything. A substance indestructible and eternal. It is at such times of complete realization that they have been blinded by the light of which we have all been speaking. And so it is.